Hi, I'm Luan Aiken with Tagawa Gardens here in Centennial, Colorado, on a wonderfully rainy spring day. But we are in the land of jungles, or what feels like jungles, and we are with Dee, who is a tropical horticulturist and our houseplant manager here at Tagawa's. This time of year is a great time to transplant your houseplants. Why now? Why in the spring?
Well, the day length is getting longer. It's easier for the plants. When you try to transplant in the middle of the winter, the day length is so short and it's hard on the plants to try to recover from the transplant
It
shock.
confuses them.
It does. You
Confuses
can still
them.
do it, especially if you can't keep up with the watering and the plant's just drying out too fast. You can go ahead and transplant any time of the year, but spring is the best time.
How do we know when a plant is telling us it needs to be repotted?
Well, the main thing is if it's drying out too fast or you see roots coming out of the bottom of the
Like
pot.
this one.
But if you're able to keep up with the watering and the roots are coming out of the bottom of the pot, just clip those roots. Oops, and I dropped them. Just clip those roots on the bottom so they're not clogging up the holes. That's the problem, is the roots clog up the holes and then you don't get good enough drainage.
So this plant, this rubber tree, even with the roots that are coming out the bottom, is not telling me.
Nope. And
That
you
it
can
needs to
see you have less than 50-50 soil to root ratio.
What does that mean?
Pretty much it means you have more soil than root. So it doesn't have to be transplanted. But if you have more roots than soil, then it's drying out too fast.
Okay.
The plant's unable to take in the water.
So that 50-50
That's a good
is
rule.
kind of the rule.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can see the one in front of it is even less than that. This is,
right.
Yeah. And a lot of people think they have to transplant it because the pot's either too big, but you can see definite less roots than soil. And a lot of the plants have different type roots, as you can see here, compared to this plant, which has a very fibrous root, and it goes all the way through. This plant can stay in that pot for years, whereas this one, and we know it's already drying out way too fast.
So tell me about this philodendron is calling out for help.
Oh yeah, and we're unable to keep up with the watering. It's drying out about every other day. It's wilting on us. It's getting lots of yellow leaves, so we know it's time.
It's talking to you.
It's
Okay.
yelling.
Okay. Screaming for help.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to pot up this philodendron.
Right. The key is don't go too
right,
big in pot size, and make sure your pot has a good size hole in the bottom.
drainage.
Yeah, drainage hole.
Okay.
A lot of these pots are coming out are called cover pots, and they're more for decoration. And you can set any of your plants inside a cover pot, and it can be larger, but the main thing is only go 2 inches larger in pot size.
Than your existing root ball.
Than your existing root mass. Mm-hmm.
That's too much soil that's not being worked by the roots, right?
Pretty much, and plus it holds the moisture in too long, and then we're growing but
Germs
bacteria
and
and fungus.
And maybe moss. Who knows?
And moss, yeah.
Okay, show us how you would go about transplanting this big beauty.
You
here.
can either use a coffee filter, which is the new thing, or even a piece of weed barrier. We don't advise using rocks. Rocks in the bottom of the pot is an old wives' tale, and pretty much all it does is decreases your drainage.
Okay.
So we're going to put a little piece in the bottom of the pot like so, and then we're going to put enough soil in the bottom of the pot to hold the plant so the soil level is exactly the same as what it was in its old pot.
You don't want that plant sitting higher or
Right,
lower.
higher or lower, exactly. So we want
What
it
do you
about
think,
the
more?
same. Let's check it. That looks about right. I want to have about 1 inch from where the soil level is to the top of the pot to allow so I can pour water in it and not overflow.
And then you'd finish backfilling.
Yep, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut the roots, and we cut them, especially roots that are this root bound. You're going to clip the bottom third of the roots in about 3 places, and then you're going to flare the roots out just slightly. You're not trying to tear the roots into half, but you can see how there's soil inside there.
Sure.
And that's where the roots are going, is all around the outside edge.
Okay.
So that's where we tend to get a misconception of the plant being root bound too. But this is perfect. This pot's about 2 inches larger, maybe a little bit bigger, but that's okay.
Okay, and then we would backfill.
Then we're going to pour soil all the way around before we poke down.
And once we're done with that, what kind of maintenance do you suggest in terms of fertilizer, right away, wait a bit?
Well, at first, most soils already have fertilizer already in them. So you can wait about a month, and then you're going to want to use any kind of all-purpose fertilizer, about a 20-20-20. I like to use either the Daniels or the Fertilome fertilizer. If it says all-purpose on it, that's good.
And one parting word. Overwatering, this good lady says, is the #1 cause of houseplant death.
Yep. Exactly. And overfeeding can happen, so I always advise doing half strength of what it says on the package. That way there's no chance. And we feed about every other watering to once a month once the plant starts actively growing.
And your plants will be happy too. Come see us at Tagawa's. Check out Dee and find out about the houseplants. We have a huge jungle for you to look at. Come and see us and we will be happy to help you be green and grow.